Hi everyone, this is Mark McDonald again. I'm here to show you some more dev movement challenges. So to start off again, this is developer movement. You have to be a Canadian, you have to have a Canadian address, and after that it's a lot of fun stuff to do. Now today we're going to focus on the student challenges, which to qualify for you must be between the ages of 13 and 18. And when you sign up, you'll need a student ID. So to find these, you're going to go to the Developer Movement homepage. And down here, we'll see we have regular challenges, but these are the student challenges that we want to use. So what the student challenges are is there's a lot of things here to do with gaming. So for instance, we have the Kudo challenge and Spark challenge, Touch Develop challenge. These are all three can be used for gaming. And we're also going to do a Python challenge. So let's do a little bit of bookkeeping first. In order to do Project Spark and to do Kodoo, then we need to go into the Windows Store. So you'll need Windows 8 for this. Now Kodoo is a free app, and you'll install it on your PC. It doesn't take too long to install. You can find it here in the store. As well, you'll want to look up Project Spark. Now, Project Spark also is free. There are in-app purchases here. You will not need any in-app purchases to complete this project. Now, one thing to note is that Project Spark is very large. It is 2.87 gigabytes to download. This is going to take a little while to complete, so I do recommend that you start that early. Now, further from this, we're going to want to go and navigate to python.org. So you're going to want to download Python 3.4.3. As well, if you don't have it, you're going to need Visual Studio for the Python challenge. So you'll click on that link, and way down at the bottom of this page you'll find the Windows x86 MSI installer, and that's where you'll find the Python tools, or the Python install. Additionally, you're going to have to go to pytools.codeplex.com, because you'll want to grab the 2.2 RC, and this is the Python tools for Visual Studio. And there are, if you're using Visual Studio 2013, you'll want to grab that MSI, or the 2015 if you're using 2015. Either one, depending on your install. So, with that said, Touch Develop as well is completely online. You don't need anything special other than a web browser. I recommend any modern browser, so you can use Chrome, you can use IE at 11, you can use Firefox. It is supported in all of them. It's running on HTML5 and other things, so it's very good support. So we're going to start with the Kudo challenge, or the Kodoo challenge, sorry. So let's go launch Kodoo. So here in Kodoo, what we're going to do is look up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see some controls there. So you can drag your terrain by clicking on it and moving it around. That's with the left click and moving your mouse. You can move your camera by right-click and moving your mouse, and the scroll wheel will cause you to zoom in and out. This is while you're holding your hand. Now, what we're going to do is, for this challenge, we have to have a character eat an apple. So what we want to do is, we're going to select the object tool. Now, if your menu doesn't come up right away, just click anywhere on your canvas to get your menu. at this point, what we want to do is add Kodu, our character. So then with Kodu, you can see as we hold him, we can move him around. So let's put him down in this corner. And let's go back to his hand and just rotate our camera so we can see his lovely face. Now the other thing that we're going to need is we're going to need an apple. And there, we've added our apple. Now then, how you program in Kodu is a little bit different than other things because it's a visual sort of programming. So what you want to do is select the object, in this case, Kodu, our character, to change his programming and his logic. We're going to right-click on him and select Program. So as you can see, what we're going to do is to add items, we have to click on these pluses. So how this works is when defines the criteria for an action to take place. So if we want to say when Kodu sees the apple, he will do something, move towards it. So let's start with that. So when see, and we're going to see an object, that object being an apple, Kodu will do something. So Kodu is going to move, but we can't just say move. We need to tell how he's going to move, and we're going to move forward, which means that he's going to move toward, or sorry, he's going to move towards. So what this is saying is that when this object, Kodu, sees an apple, move Kodu towards that object. Now then, the other thing that has to happen here is Kodu has to eat his apple, and he's got to say that he enjoys it. He's got to say something like yummy. So what we're going to do is say that when Kodu bumps into his apple, what we want him to do is eat the apple. So again, when Kodu bumps into the apple, eat it. The other thing that has to happen is Kodu has to say something. So we're also going to tie this to when he bumps into the apple. And what he's going to do is Kodu is going to take an action. And he's going to say, and here we can type anything we want. We could have Kodu say, it's an apple or anything. But what we're going to do is we're going to have him say how yummy it is. And you have different options here on how you can do this, where you can have it be a full screen statement, you could have it be a thought bubble, and we're going to tell it to use the thought bubble. And then we're going to click Save. And that's all saved right in there. So, at this point, this is the screen you have to take a screenshot of for submission for the challenge. So what we're going to do is we're now going to come out and push the play button down here to test our game. We want to make sure this logic works. So let's see what happens. There goes Kodu. He ate his apple and he thought it was very tasty. And that's the Kodu challenge for this week, or for this month, sorry. So escape to exit out of the test. We're going to go back and save photo, just because we want to have it. And I'm going to call this. So we can now close Kodu because we don't need it anymore for this week. So the next thing we want to do is the Touch Develop challenge. And what Touch Develop is it is a fully online tool for building some games and such. And you can build a lot of stuff with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here to touchdevelop.com, and this link is in the description. And we want to launch the editor. Now you can sign in to save your games under a particular login, and you can use your Microsoft account for that. So for this week, or this month, what we're going to do is create a very simple game. And what that game is going to do is it's going to have a character on the screen, and that character is going to be bouncing, but we'll be able to touch the mouse button to cause it to go higher in the air a little bit. And what we'll do is we're going to have to increase the life of the character, as well add score. So to do all of this, to meet the criteria, what you want to do is you want to come down here and create script. And we're going to use a blank game. Now it'll give you any sort of name you want. You can rename it, or you can keep what it's doing. I like awe-inspiring games, so I'm going to keep that. So this is the default code that we're going to see. And what you can see is that when we launch it, our monster is going to be bouncing. And we can, clicking the left mouse button, make it go up, and it's just going to fall again. But you'll notice we're not adding score, and we don't have enough lives for the requirements. So what we want to do is we want to come over here, and we're going to click on this line. Now when we add a line, we can add it before the line that we're on or after. So let's add this one after. And since we want to increase the life of our character, that's a game object. So we're going to click here on game, and selecting from our options, we're going to add life. We can add as many lives as we want. So let's add 100 lives, and we can just type that in. Okay. So the other thing we have to do is that when we make him bounce, we have to add a point. But we don't want to do it just when he bounces, we want to do it when we click the mouse button. So it has to go inside this gamepad if statement. And to do that, again, because points are part of the game, we're going to go into the game, we're going to add score, and we're going to add 1. So that's our code now, right here. This is what it should look like. So let's run this and see what happens. So we can see we now have 103 lives. So that's not quite what we wanted, but it's pretty good, because what we did was we added life. There's another option to set life, right here. And that's where we want to set the value to 100. Again, just run it to test it, and we can see now we've got the proper code. 0 points, let's get some points. I'm clicking my mouse button, and our points are going up. And that's touch development. And you can save, publish, everything right from there. So next we're going to do Project Spark. This is a fairly quick one. As I mentioned, it is a large file that you get out of the Windows Store. You're going to want to grab that early because it will take a long time to install. Additionally, there is a very long tutorial on your first launch. Feel free to do it. You'll get some in-game currency to use. As well, what you want to do is, if you want to skip it, hit escape and choose the exit option. And I'm going to skip this intro. Now, Project Spark will require internet access, so be aware of that. And it's fairly quick. What we want to do is we want to get access to this create option. And we're going to start from scratch. So much like Kodu, it is a visual programming system. You're not going to be writing code specifically. And here, as you're used to, scroll wheel to scroll in and out, WASD keys to pan side to side, and right click and move the mouse to move the camera. But we're going to want to select this props option. which will allow us to select our character. And here's where we find our character options. Now, for this challenge, we have to give him a hat and a weapon. So we're going to want to go into clothing, and we'll take the ranger hood because it's free. It's completely free, and we're going to grab the fire poker as well because I think that looks kind of funny. And there, screenshot grabbing that is what you need for your challenge. I really do encourage you to use Project Spark. There's some really neat games in here that other people have built, and you can build your own games and release them to the community. It's really a lot of fun. So, with that, we can close Project Spark. Now, our final activity today is to do a small Python challenge in Visual Studio. So what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be using Turtle graphics in Python to draw a triangle on the screen. So what you want to do is launch Visual Studio. Now, at this point, again, going back to what I said at the first video, you need Python and PyTools installed for this to work. So we'll come up here to New Project. And I'm using Visual Studio 2015 RC, so your screen might be slightly different, but you will see an option for Python and a Python application. So let's name this something. We'll call this one StuDevMov Python, and it's the 2015 June challenges, so I'll just add that. To do the drawing with our Python code, we're going to use an imported library called Turtle. And what that's going to do is, Turtle allows us to draw to a canvas on a screen. So what I've written this program earlier, I'm just going to paste it in here. And we're going to look at this code. So you can see that we're going to import Turtle. But then Turtle has a series of methods that you can use, which are, you can use forward to move to the forward-facing point of the turtle, right and left. And so for this, what we're going to do is we're actually going to move the turtle forward 100 pixels, drawing a line. At that point, we're going to turn right 90 degrees to make a right angle, and another 100 pixels forward to make the second side of the triangle. The reason we're going 135 degrees right is so that we can make a long turn around to bring ourselves back facing the correct direction. And Turtle seems to not like right and left all the time, so you have to be a little bit trial and error to get this. And the reason why our third number forward 141 is there is because with Pythagoras' theorem we know that a squared plus b squared is c squared. So that's the two sides beside the right angle of a triangle squared, and added together is the square of the third side's length. So in this case, 100 squared plus 100 squared, the root of that sum is approximately 141. So let's show this working. We're going to just run this code. And you can see we get our triangle. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this is that Python is case sensitive, so these will need to be lowercase. If you're used to C#, that might seem a little bit strange, but don't worry, because this will work. And with that, you have completed all of the requirements for this month's Visual Studio Challenge, as well as all 4 of the student challenges, so you can submit your screenshots for that, and I'll see you next month.